Good morning. Hopefully, everyone is having a great day. Today, we're going to talk about once again trusting God. We're talking about trusting God in a little bit of a different way today. Malachi 3 and 8 talks about, will a man rob God? It goes on to say, how have I robbed you? And God says, you robbed me with your tithes. I used to hear my pastor when I was growing up, all the way until I graduated high school. He would say it constantly: "Will a man rob God? How have you robbed me in time? Robbing God? I'm not taking that from God. Nobody's stealing from the church." And as I got older, I began to understand it, especially when the older I got, the more I understand, and I truly understand it now. We rob God by our tithe. Whatever God's blessed us with, a portion of that, a tenth of that, is holy and is for God's church. Just a little teaching. But tithing is more than just an obligation. It's about trust. And that's what we're going to talk about there is the trust part of tithing. You're trusting God with that 10% that he'd asked for. And now more than ever, we have to trust God. Now, right now, gas prices are soaring towards are at an all-time high, close to around that all-time high. I know groceries are at all-time highs. Seems like utilities are getting higher and higher. It seems like everything about your money that you bring in is getting higher, and it's beginning to squeeze you in other places. And one may contemplate, maybe I'll cut back on I would have at this point, it's time to, if you should already have a real conversation with God and talk with him and explain that you want to trust him, that you're still going to trust in him no matter what's going on, the obligation that he has for you to give to him. And I listen, everyone's situation is different. Everyone's situation is different. That's why it's so important to constantly commune with God and constantly talk to God and have a relationship with God. God will direct you. I promise you. I can't sit here and say one person giving it is not affected. They're giving their concentration. They're giving their tithe. They're doing this. You should do it too. Hey, trust God first of all, but have a relationship with him. Have a relationship enough with him so he can direct your path. God, see, most people think that you put God in a box of certain situations, but God is the best counselor. God is the best financial advisor that you could ever think of. God will have you putting your finances in a way that you will have surplus. God can do that. So trust him in that. I'm reminded of, before things went haywire with the pandemic and we had to alter things in churches. Our Sunday school class, our First Lady at Emanuel AME Church, Sister Florence D, she teaches the beginners primaries, our youngest kids in Sunday school. And the excitement that those kids had in their giving, they have in their giving, was second to none. They would make sure that they came in there with their money. I've seen them come in there with their dollars, their $2, whatever they had, ready to give. We have to continue to have that excitement about giving to God. These kids, every year we would have a Sunday school night. Every year, the beginners primary class would beat everybody in the giving. Now, not a Sunday school night one, we had guests and everything, but those kids would beat everybody on that night of giving. So that excitement, keep that. And that excitement comes when you have a relationship with. See what Sister Dees was doing, and she's training those kids to be excited about giving. She's planting that seed so that excitement will stay with them, and that relationship with God it continues and begins to grow and flourish. Our relationship with God has to be constant. We have to be willing to be close to him. Trust God. Please, my brothers and sisters. If you don't feel like you have a good relationship, work on it. Pray more. Read more. I promise you, it'll get better. Trust God. Trust God. Amen.